Good evening, class. My name is Wesley Dame. In the military, they called me Adam. But you can call me Wesley. So this is my presentation of Chapter 10 of The Color of Law. Right here is the thesis of Chapter 10. If you want to pause the video, zoom in, take notes, here's the notes. And here's the acronyms. This mainly lines up with the about 2/3 of the chapter talks about this stuff right here, mainly this stuff. So let's just dive right into it. Chapter 10, Suppress Incomes. This is a chapter mainly about why the African Americans, the blacks, aren't really where the whites are right now, or as in the author states that still are. So the thesis. Let's run over the thesis of the chapter. One of the first few sentences that the author really goes into. He says that black families cannot afford to live in white middle class communities and still cannot. So back in the day, black families couldn't live where white people live, and this was because of right here, blacks cannot afford what whites have. It's because the unions prevented this from happening. Yeah. So the unions prevented this from happening, and here's all the union stuff: Tennessee Valley Authority, National Recovery Administration, the NAACP, the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, AFL, the American Federation of Labor, the NLRB, National Labor Relations Board, and the FEPC, the Fair Employment Practices Committee. So basically, Chapter 10, let me give you a rundown of Chapter 10. Chapter 10 first states unions and policies that were enacted by segregation, de facto or de jure reasons, and these were implemented throughout World War II, and they JFK, he puts an end to this, John F. Kennedy. And he says that segregation is illegal. It's in the workforce, it's illegal. Separate but equal is not allowed. And the main reason why, the author states, the main reason why the African community couldn't really get to where the blacks were or where the whites were was because of a simple factor that, well, the whites were keeping them down, or the de facto de jure was keeping them segregated, was keeping them amiss. So, and not only that, the blacks had to face the housing market related to taxes kept blacks down. So within the housing market, there's a thing called assessed market pricing and market pricing. So someone comes over to the house, they check it out, they see how much it's worth, and if it's worth more, they pay more taxes. If it's worth less, then they pay less taxes. Well, they were saying the black community where they live was worth more, up to, in certain points, over 200% more than what was actually worth. And in the whites, they were valuing them around 50% less than what they were worth, so they had to pay less taxes, and most of the taxes would come from the black community. And this is why and also the blacks had higher rents. So in the text it says that the rent for a single black family was around $60, $68, whereas in the whites were $15. This was very disproportionate, and it left the blacks, as the book stated, left the blacks spending all their money on rent, so they couldn't do things that the whites could do, which kind of led to more of the de facto segregation. And so we have a story here with the FEPC, NAACP, and the AFL coinciding with why the blacks were not taken seriously. So there was going to be a march on the White House. They said, "Don't do it. We'll follow your demands." The NAACP and the FEPC, they said, "We'll go ahead and we'll take your account seriously." So they tried to take their account seriously at the White House, but when it got down to it, at the brass tacks, no one was following what White House was pushing. They wanted segregation in the unions and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, chapter 10 basically ends there, stating that there is an end to it, but it's still continuing. And yeah, that's chapter 10. You can pause the video, you can look at the notes right here, and the acronyms with the thesis right there. So thank you very much, classmates, fellow students, friends, pals, and thank you, Dr. Newhouse, for this opportunity to make this presentation video for all those who are going to watch it. Thank you, and have a good day. Okay, I forgot to add one more thing in here. This quote is from page 153. Again, black families cannot afford to live in white middle class communities and still cannot. Page 153. Thank you.